Welcome, friends, to another episode of Night of Eveningstar, brand new D&D campaign here on the D&D Twitch channel. I am your Dungeon Master. Oh, I'm hearing myself. Whoops, I forgot to mute myself there. That's very professional of me. I am your Dungeon Master, Mark SherlockHulmes from the D&D show High Rollers, and joining me are these lovely people who should hopefully appear. We have Mica Burton, Anna Prosler, ShadyPenguinn, and Nate Sharp. Nate wants to battle as well. Hello, my dear friends. It's been a week. How are you all?
Can I just say how fantastic both Mica and Shady are looking in their stylish outfits today?
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
wow.
crazy.
It's so.
Oh, thank you.
Where did you get those amazing shirts?
I happened to get my amazing shirt at Cantrip Cantrip.com?
Yep, that was it. CantripBrand.com.
Cantripbrand.com.
That's so weird because I also got my fantastic, comfortable, and form-fitting hoodie at CantripBrand.com.
And as it is 105 degrees here in Los Angeles, California, I am so light and cozy in my CantripBrand.com cropped tank top.
Anna, you can just
you guys
ask
must
me,
be
can we put, like, a
influencers.
cantrip bit in at the beginning, and I'll happily accommodate it. Like, you don't need to
No, it's
sneak
influencer
it in.
marketing, Mark.
Yeah, it was great
you're
and
right.
completely organic. If you guys could remind me what your PayPals are.
That's more money, no problems at gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Well, after that wonderful brand sponsorship there from cantripbrand.com for all of your D&D apparel needs, we are here to play some Dungeons & Dragons. If you're brand new, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a campaign set in Cormyr in the Forgotten Realms, and it's a kind of kingdomy management building up campaign. These lovely folks and their characters have become nobles or advisors, and they are now going to be taking on the responsibility of looking after a town called Eveningstar and its associated keeps and the politics and all of that good stuff around it. I don't think that there is really much else to talk about except for a brief recap for what happened last time. Unless there's anything you guys want to bring up. Is there anything you guys want to mention? Anything you think we should mention?
Did you already mention the podcast?
Oh, right.
Anna, you literally told me about this 5 seconds before we started.
I mean, we could do
and
it
I
at the end
completely
too.
forgot. No, I think it's worth. We can do it at the end as well, but I think it's worth mentioning now. Listen, if you listen to this show, if you enjoy this show, please go and tell people that there is a podcast available for it as well. Lots of people are asking us, are you going to make a podcast for it? Are you going to make a podcast for it? The answer is yes. D&D have made a podcast for it. It's available on iTunes and Spotify. So if you can't watch live, if you can't watch on YouTube, if you want to listen to it in the car or a long drive, grab it on those platforms and listen to the podcast and check that out as well. And I think you can follow, and then you'll get all the latest updates and all of that good stuff as well.
And if you're listening on the podcast right now, good job. You're so meta.
5-star review, please. Thank you very much. Nate's gonna PayPal you some money once we get that through. So
What?
what?
You heard us, Nate.
Yeah. Well, shall we play some Dungeons and Dragons? So we just jump
Yes,
straight into
please.
it. Just
Let's do it.
Get back in. Okay. So the last time on Nights of Eveningstar, you guys had infiltrated Starwatch Keep, the keep that is attached to the village of Eveningstar and overlooks it, and it is basically the seat of your power. It's where you can live, it's where you can muster your troops, it's where your townsfolk will go for protection, and it had been taken over by a bandit thug called the Thornhand. Thanks to some clever subterfuge, you managed to sneak your way into the main bailey of the keep itself and had begun sneaking your way through, making your way down into what appeared to be a large dining hall with a table laden with treasure. Tarkhal and Marcel, Agnis and Azara, you all snuck down, and I believe it was Tarkhal, I think, who kind of made the initial leap forward to kind of investigate what was going on and discovered that the Thornhand you thought was there was an illusion, and a battle ensued. The Thornhand himself appeared to be a very powerful fighter supported by strange natural magics, and he was also accompanied by a mysterious woman with glowing green eyes and druidic-looking powers. You defeated them quite handedly, but the woman's body kind of became this decomposed mulch of vines and moss and leaves rather than leaving a physical body behind. And you were left with many, many more questions than answers. But the day was won, the battle was successful, and Starwatch Keep is now free to be reclaimed. Still in need of some desperate repairs, but it has been reclaimed. And I think that we ended with Azara investigating some of the remnants that the mage had left behind, Marcel having a very quiet moment out by the campfire as Agnis and Tarkhal retired to bed to get some much needed sleep. And yeah, you guys you've taken a long rest, and I will now literally hand it over to you if there is anything you want to do. Go for it, Azara.
So with my level up, I now speak Sylvan. I can read and write it.
Right. Okay.
And I would like to know if now with that knowledge and extra skill, I can see if there's anything else, like that skull I think you said had Sylvan on it, or
yes.
Yeah.
It was like a large deer skull, and there would be multiple runes carved in it, both arcane in nature, but there was also some Sylvan carved onto it as well. And there was also a large green gem that you would theorize might be part of some sort of scrying ritual or something similar. The Sylvan written on the skull, it's old. It's old language. It's almost a lot of it doesn't make sense. It refers to rambling things. When the green fog descends, the land shall become one again. These kind of rambling prophetic phrases. But one thing it speaks of is you see a name repeated, Shadowbriar, 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 multiple times written over this. You get the sense that Shadowbriar is either a person or a creature and is possessive of something, a treasure perhaps, another person. The phrases refer to Shadowbriar will reclaim what is theirs, what was stolen will be returned to Shadowbriar, that sort of thing. Yeah, I think that's the extent of what you can figure out from it. What about everyone else? It is a brand new day. I'm pretty loose, by the way, with timing. So, like, if you guys are like, we don't really have any plans, we just want to go back to the village and crack on with stuff, then just say that and we can speed up time. I'm not going to, play out our whole day unless there's something specific you guys want to do. So, if there's ever sort of moments where you want to just speed things up, we can just do that.
So we're planning on kind of like moving into this keep as our main home.
Well, that's up to you. So the way that the village is set up is you have the village. It has a few buildings and businesses located there. There's a lot of outlying farms and orchards in the area that are your responsibility as well. You have an estate in the village. It's like a mansion or a manor house. But you also have the keep, and the keep is traditionally where the baron or baroness would reside. It's where you would meet guests. It's where you would host people if they came to visit, because it's the most secure place in the region. It's got walls and a gate and guards. Certainly your troops, including your blade captain Elissa, half-orc knight of Cormyr, they would live here and they would train here and they would practice here. But whether you guys live here is really your call. It's up to you, really. It would certainly be defying tradition not to stay here, but it would also make you more vulnerable if, say, the village of Eveningstar were to be attacked, or if assassins were sent after you. It's obviously much easier to get into somewhere like a big open village than it is to get into a kind of defended keep.
Well, I guess then if we're going to move in here, we should... Agnis would be like about to leave to go pick up her stuff. And then I imagine probably someone would remind her that she's supposed to send people to do that instead of like going and grabbing her own stuff and bringing it back.
Well, I think that's down to the rest of the party. Yeah, for sure.
Do you mean your belongings that we left back in the village?
At the house. Because we kind of like moved in. Remember? And Azara was like decorating and stuff, but it's like we moved in and then decided to switch houses.
I don't think I started decorating yet, so
no,
definitely plans can change
Making
for this place.
Plans, no actual decoration, because you'd only been there for a few hours, right? You'd literally arrived, had 4 hours to rest, and then you came straight to the keep. So you've barely put your bags down at this stage. The troops are all gathered. You can see that the unpleasant work of clearing out the bodies of those who were slain and fallen has begun. Elissa is kind of coordinating that. You can also see that a rudimentary guard has been posted up on the walls. They're going through the equipment, taking inventory of everything. I imagine that actually when you guys wake up after your long rest that you took, you would probably find Dusk, the tiefling seneschal, this kind of purple-skinned tiefling with a little pointy goatee, walks with a cane. He's already here at the keep, and you can see that he is cataloging the vast amounts of treasure and goods that had been laden on the table in the Bailey. He's also had several soldiers drag out, big barrels of cider and ale, sacks of grain, and he's cataloging them all in a very exquisite-looking leather journal. And he's writing and making notes on everything. If he sees any of you, it would be a proper kind of startled awareness, deep bows. Oh, my apologies, my good lords, ladies, council. I didn't want to wake you. I was just cracking on with taking inventory of what was recovered. Are you well? Are any of you injured? You arrested?
We're quite well. Thank you. We hope we've done a great service as much as we can to this land, town, place.
Most certainly, my lady, of course. The word has already spread to some of the villagers. Most were sleeping, but this morning there's been a lot of activity. People are overjoyed. They're very grateful for what you've done. I mean, we were afraid that this would take weeks, 10 days to solve, and we've cleared out this bandit with no problem. There are some issues that I should probably discuss with everyone once everyone is ready. I have some updates regarding what was recovered, but also some matters from the village specifically. But I can assure you that you have done an incredible thing, not just for the people here, but for the region. I'm sure that the people of Arabelle will be grateful to know that their merchants and traders won't be having problems with any bandits as well. Something to perhaps consider for the future. Minister Marcel, Minister Azara, Lord Tarkhal, if you have any questions, please feel free. I'm obviously all of yours disposal, not just the Baron and Baroness, but I'm here to assist anybody with any queries or questions or services you need.
Dusk, seeing
yes,
as your grace over here has turned over decorating rights to yours truly, I was wondering, how do we go about ordering drapes, beds, cupboards, furniture?
My lady, I'd be honored to assist you with this. If you provide me with a list of what you're looking for, I can make the suitable arrangements. I'll inform you of the prices, and then you can make a final decision. You sign off before we commit to any spending of village funds or personal funds, if that's what you wish to spend. I should make a point that until we can get a carpenter here in the village itself, we will probably need to send somebody to Arabelle to collect furnitures, furnishings, drapes, things like that. It may cost a little bit more. It might take a bit more time, but that is certainly doable. Anything larger than furniture would be difficult if we don't have our own local carpenter. But yes.
Why is there no carpenter? Do we need to recruit someone?
Things like that, my lady, are certainly very useful to the village of Eveningstar. It's tricky. Often it's a case with craftsmen to find somebody who's truly skilled. I mean, I could send word to Arabelle and I could find some second or third rate wood sharpener who can come and cut logs and cut spikes if we need them, but to find somebody who truly knows what they're doing that can actually help benefit the village, they need to be somebody who's skilled. Such opportunities do come up, and I will of course inform your grace is when that opportunity arrives. But yes, that would normally involve a little bit of gold to spend, as well as normally the construction of a workshop or something like that they can operate from. But it depends on your own exploits as well. The more well-known you are in court and amongst Cormyrian folk, more people may come to Eveningstar. As your own stories and legends grow, people will seek out Eveningstar as a place to be. If the people here are happy and prosperous, more people will come.
And if I'm not
Well-
mistaken, there's a wall that needs to be rebuilt, and you said that a mason worker has
Yes.
been kidnapped?
Yes, my lady. This is perhaps now is a good time for me to go through the matters. Minister Marcel, Lord Tarkhal, is there anything before I go into this? I feel that this may take some time for me to explain the various issues. So if you have anything that you wish to discuss, please, now would be a wonderful time.
No, this was the next thing on my mind. So please, for me, please carry on.
He looks at Marcel, doesn't get a response, and just bows his head and continues. I will go through perhaps the most pressing matters, and then we can decide what we want to do after I've discussed them all. You're quite right, Magister Azara, Lord Tarkhal. The town had a mason, Dagmar Iron Eyes, a dwarven woman, very, very skilled, very, very good at what she does. A few days before the Thornhand arrived, her and a few of her stone cutters, they traveled north into the Tempest Valley. It's not too far from here. They had found a site to build a quarry, something that would be incredibly useful to Eveningstar. It would provide us stone to rebuild fortifications and buildings, but also some income as we sell surplus materials. The problem is, we never heard back from them. I dispatched a young man to try and find them, but they haven't returned either. And then the next thing we knew, this Thornhand was giving us problems, and well, I've not been able to do anything since. Whether you want to investigate this yourselves or perhaps send Lady Alyssa and her troops, that is your decision, of course. But it is something that, well, until we can get Dagmar back, I'm afraid that repairs to the keep's walls they just won't progress. We could try and hire somebody else, but it will take significant time and gold as well. On the subject of gold, there is some good news. I've made a ledger of what we recovered from the Thornhand's raise, and I can tell you that there is approximately 3,000 gold's worth of assorted coins and trade goods. There are several pieces of jewelry and fine clothing, each worth about 25 gold. I also discovered a box of potions, 4 of them in total, as well as a very expensive lyre worth about 100 gold. Now, comparing this, Lady Crownsilver, if you'll forgive me, you asked me to come up with a list of the things that had been stolen, taken from the townsfolk, yes. Looking at this, approximately 50% of the gold and trades good is of the people of Eveningstar. Whether you wish to return this is your decision. These are your spoils of battle. We can return them to the people, and I will tell you that they will be grateful and gracious, but you could also use this money to build infrastructure, to hire more troops. It could be very valuable to you. I can't say what for, but this is unfortunately a decision for the 4 of you to make, how you wish to distribute these funds. If I'm not mistaken, you did also come with a small bursary from the crown, but I'm not sure that will be enough to, well, fully outfit the town and the village as you see fit. The repairs themselves will take significant time. There's also quite a lot of damage in the village itself. And without many of the strongest laborers and the miners and the soldiers, well, they were killed by the Thornhand. So it will take us some time to get that back up and running as well. I know that the tavern in particular was very badly damaged by these Thornhands. It probably won't recover on its own, but the building is still there. There is one other matter, and I'm sorry for the rather dour subject. I'm afraid that word has already reached some of the villages that you've made the decision to capture some of the bandits, to imprison them. The people of Eveningstar are very angry at these thugs. They lost people. People died. People were beaten. Their livelihoods ruined. They want justice. These people, by law of Cormyr, should be executed. And the people, well, they feel that imprisonment is, shall I say, too kindly of a punishment, of a fate for these individuals that plagued on their hard work. that is something that you may wish to consider amongst yourselves as well, how you wish to proceed with these prisoners. We currently have several of them in the village, and I believe that Lady Alyssa has several more here from the battle last night. What you wish to do with them, well, that's in your hands. And then he kind of gestures to the four of you to discuss. You are alone, apart from Dusk. There's nobody else here. So if you did want to speak in private, you could just send Dusk away.
Well, I'll just say no town of mine is going to have a strict death penalty like that. Am I right? She looks for approval at everyone.
Maybe for villages that live in the town, but these were bandits, and perhaps I didn't think of how it would affect folks of Eveningstar to bring them in. I'm new to all this, so I was just thinking, you know, they could change. They could help us.
Perhaps they could rebuild the tavern.
In my experience, if you don't mind me speaking, entrusting vicious outsiders who have pillaged and murdered the ones of their own in the town to rebuild such a beloved structure is probably not the way to win the villagers' hearts. I don't think they would be very happy seeing a group of bandits anywhere near what they hold dear.
Perhaps.
I think if we're going to try to turn tradition on its head, what with potentially returning the gold back to the villagers, I feel like past persons in opposition would keep it. Taking in bandits and changing their ways, I think we'd have to do it all at once. I think that decision can wait until we rescue Dagmar from the quarry. We need to prove ourselves. We did this very swiftly, and I think if we can prove our worth, then the changes we want to make will be a little more welcomed.
Dusk was saying that the money potentially should be used for reconstruction. Perhaps we could give the villagers a choice that if they want their just returns, they certainly are entitled to them. But if they would like to set them forth to use in rebuilding the town, if they have enough to go around, then we could use it to rebuild.
I have to agree with Lady Crownsilver here. Seeing as the villagers are enamored by our acts, I think that also Lord Crownsilver has a point. We rescue a beloved mason, we bring her home, and pose the question. They have no choice but to say, of course. I mean, what would they rather have, their 50 gold or a tavern?
Well, in some cases, they may need the 50 gold to eat, and I certainly wouldn't want to make them feel any kind of pressure.
The decision is, of course, all of yours. Logistically, I'm happy to coordinate that. I can spread word around once you return to get this messaging out, to ask people what they would like to do. This will be very new for a lot of people here, being asked what they would like to have done. One thing I will make a point of, within the next few weeks, we will need to have a discussion amongst the four of you. The four of you will need to discuss the tax rating for the season. This is perhaps a time when you could offer a lower or higher tax in exchange for some of these services that you are offering. Another thing to consider, but that doesn't need to be decided for at least another 10 days, so that can wait. But I'm certainly happy to put the messaging out there that this is an option. Like Lady Crownsilver says, quite a few of the villagers, this livelihood will be their money for eating through the winter and the, you know, making sure that they have new tools for the harvest. I'm not sure all of it would be reinvested back into the treasury, but I do believe that is in gratitude for what you've done. Some of it would certainly be given back. Also, the coins and things like that, 50% of that belongs to villagers, but certainly things like the beautiful loot, the jewelry, the fine clothing, the potions, they must have been from a local traveler. I don't have any record of them coming from the village, so those are yours to keep and do with as you wish. As is 1500's worth of the gold. Most of it came from traveling merchants or folks coming in from Arabelle, so you will still have some to do with as you please.
Perhaps I could learn the lyre, and I could offer concerts for improving morale in the city.
Whatever you wish to do, my Baroness, of course. I'm happy to facilitate that. We have many festivals in Eveningstar. There will be many opportunities for celebration in the future. Having a beautiful, noble lyrist would be a wonderful little uplifter, I'm sure. A delightful moment for the town.
I'm no bard, but I fancy myself a musical person.
I cannot wait to hear it, my lady.
Where are the, like, above game? Where are the potions? Are they...
If you ask for them, Dusk literally rummages around and you can see you can see that previously when you came in here the previous night before, the table was just laden with just coins and everything was just a mess.
Mm-hmm.
It has been incredibly organized and neatly put away. Piles, sacks, all the sacks have had like little parchments attached with string denoting how much is in each one. It's incredibly organized. And he procures a small lacquered box. And he brings that out and he shows it to you, lifting it up. And inside there are 4 vials. 2 of them are a mint green in color, with almost tiny little flakes inside of it. Can't quite make out what they are. Almost like little stones, little flakes. One of them is a very deep crimson red, and the other one is a more of a pale pink color.
Can I do like an Arcana check, or do I like know what these are?
You don't need to do an Arcana check, but if you spend like an hour, like just examining them, or even 10 minutes, if you just spend it like 10 minutes, like testing them and sort of examining them, you can work out what they are.
Yes, I would like
I will
to
tell you now, there are 2 potions of climbing, a potion of healing regular, and a potion of healing greater.
Okay.
So you may distribute those as you see fit. Seeing as you are the Magister, I think that magic items fall under Azara's purview.
I think for now, she'll just keep these on my person and distribute them as we see fit for the moment. No use putting the cart before the horse. If everyone is agreeable to that.
I'm down.
Thanks, Tarkhal.
Yes, of course. That's fine.
Are you feeling blue? You're down, Tarkhal? What?
I might need to lie down for a bit after my brain is a little frazzled.
Tarkhal just goes dope.
So the most pressing matter for the villages would be for us to rescue Dagmar and any stonecutters.
Certainly. I should make it clear. The villagers will obviously be very glad to hear that you've rescued a member of the village, but I feel that Dagmar's true value is to yourselves. She is an excellent stonemason. Having her will allow us to rebuild the keep faster, for cheaper. It will allow you to build additional buildings for cheaper and faster in the future. It will provide some income each season. That is very valuable. Something like a true world-class stonemason is exceptionally valuable to you. But
well,
yes.
Surely we're not focusing on her simply because of her value. She has inherent value as someone we should rescue. Certainly, we all agree on that.
Of course, that's why I didn't. Go ahead.
I was mostly focused on her value with her work, personally.
Well, you should think about that and maybe change your moral compass.
Perhaps I might.
Agnes looks very pleased at how that conversation went. That's very like, rare yes, that you're like, you should change your values. And someone's like, okay, maybe I will.
Whether or not it's genuine, Agnes doesn't care. She's just like, he said, yes, I'm in. Dusk just looks at you as like, it is not my place to make those judgments, my lady. I am merely here to provide you with the information. That is not my decision to make. If you ask me my personal opinion, I'm happy to give it. But I speak purely from my role as Seneschal here. So I can give you the rough directions. We know that the quarry location was somewhere to the north. My hope is that there may be some clues or tracks or evidence of what happened to Dagmar up north. If you wish to take some time, if you need supplies, we can do what we can. But obviously, people are just starting to get back on their feet as well. Perhaps the potions will be useful. By all means, take those. I will have everything prepared. I will divide the treasury, make sure that it is secured somewhere here in the keep. And I can get to work on those other matters as you wish. Do you have anything else for me, my good lords, ladies, council?
Azara's just gonna start slowly sliding towards the pile of dresses, and and just kind of start like if they're in a neat pile, just kind of like rifling through them, just real subtle.
Yeah. There's actually it's like a big mix. There's a couple of various different nobles outfits mixed in here. There is some for a gentleman, some for a lady, lots of things like shawls and scarves, maybe not full dresses, but lots of kind of accessories. There's also quite a lot of jewelry, little statuettes, earrings, necklaces. There's about 7 pieces of everything, like, all mixed together, and they're all worth about 25 gold each. So 7 different luxury items, and you may choose what those are. I'm happy for you to be like, I get a fur shawl and it's really nice, and I'm like, sure, that's one of those pieces. So
I think the dragon in Azara will will kind of like read the room while she's picking them up to see if anybody stops her, and like put on like a ring or 2, and then if there's a fur shawl, she'll pilfer that as well.
I think Agnis also is going to kind of like side eye over and be like, is there anything kind of fiery, or maybe like a bird?
I feel like hopefully there's something feathery. Azara will just like slide it across, like girl bonding, like real subtle girl bonding as they're shopping together.
Okay, so while you two are doing that, what are Tarkhal and Marcel doing?
Tarkhal's just like he's just actually glaring at them, I think.
What?
Like actually throwing weight.
He's like,
what? What's wrong? Do you have something in your eye, Tarkhal?
No, nothing in my eye.
Would you like to wear some jewelry?
No, I don't need to wear any of that. We have things we need to do.
You're so right. You're absolutely right, Tarkhal. My apologies. Let's get moving.
Yes, this mason sounds useful and what was it? Valuable as an individual.
Yes, valuable as an individual, exactly.
Yes.
Right.
Azara gives it like a sarcastic golf clap.
Yeah, I think Dusk is also kind of like, his eyes flicker to Marcel as he says that, and there is a kind of like I see. And then he dust bows his head. And yeah, he can quickly basically give you directions and point you in the way that you need to go. It's quite easy because it's mainly, there is a river that flows alongside Eveningstar. And that, you just follow that north, basically. That leads into the valley. It's where the river comes from. And yeah, unless there's anything else, you guys begin that journey. And it's going to be a couple of hours at most, traveling basically into the hills. Like most of Cormyr, it is this beautiful pastoral grassland for a long time, for maybe like the first sort of like hour and a bit. But then you begin to see the storm horns, these huge snow-capped mountains, deep purple, far in the background. And before that you get to those, there are big, steep hills that begin turning into this kind of rich purple earth that kind of spreads all around the area. The river begins to fork and split and leads off into various like little micro canyons and things like that. And within a couple of hours, you come across what would have been the site of a quarry. You can already see that stretches of the stone has been marked out by ropes and pitons. You can see that a couple of tents have been pitched. There's even the remnants of an old campfire. But that's it. That's all you find initially when you first arrive. The river babbles and rushes nearby. There is bird song in the air. What do you guys do?
How fresh does the campfire look? Like I want to go over and look at the campfire.
Sure. I'm trying to think. So I wonder how good Azara would be at just knowing something like, how old is this campfire? Why don't you make a survival check for me?
Yeah, that's a big yikes. I rolled a 19 and it's +0. So 19.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's probably more to do with, I mean, you tell me, but I imagine it's more with Azara. It's like you can see how much the wood has burnt. You kind of have that sorceress connection of like, yes, this has been burning for some time. I mean, this campfire looks like it's, 10 days, 11 days old. It's quite past now. But as you're investigating the campfire, you do begin to get this really strong stench of decay. like rot and putrescence, and you think it's coming from one of the tents.
Oh god, does it specifically smell like a dead body? Like Azara would know what a dead body smells like.
It's definitely, but it's more than just the rot of a corpse. Like there's a foreign smell mixed in there as well.
Okay, well, knowing that, I'm going to back up a lot and cast Mage Hand to go investigate, like to lift open the flap of the tent.
So you see this draconic claw summon through the air, and it pulls back the flap of one of these tents. And yeah, the smell. Everybody now smells this. The scent kind of wafts out, and it is this sickly putrescence. And you don't see much. The body that is in there is quite deep in, but you do see one leg. The kind of loose linen trousers have been ripped and torn at the bottom, and the raw leg that is kind of remaining is covered in these thick yellow boils and blisters. The skin is raw, disfigured, almost partially melted, you might even say.
Ew.
Welcome to my D&D games, everybody.
Oh my god. Is this anything I've seen before?
I mean, you tell me, how much interaction with poison has Azara had?
Not much. More magic.
More magic. This doesn't look like a spell. I'll tell you this. Azara, as a trained magister, as a war wizard of Cormyr, this was not the work of magic. This looks natural, like something of a beast, something that could spew acid or poison, perhaps. The boils and the blisters would kind of match that sort of effect, just from what you can see. If you try and get closer, the smell becomes more overwhelming, but you might be able to get a better look at the body.
Well, knowing that, Azara would wave over Agnis and be like, Lady Crownsilver, I apologize for the scent, but I think this may be more up your alley. It seems more natural, not magic. If you can stand it, can you tell what has happened to our poor friend here?
I definitely am like, the beast kind of person. So should I roll medicine or perception?
I don't even think you need to make a roll on this, Agnis.
Okay.
You have trained in nature. You have you've learned about the natural world. You have studied as a druid. And when you peek in, I mean, in fact, give me just like a con save. Because as you get closer to this thing, I mean, it is putrid. It is just an absolute vile experience as you get closer to the tent.
I rolled a 7.
So yeah, I think that there is, you physically have to pull away. As you get closer and you're about to look inside, you have to pull away and step to the side, and you can feel bile like rising up. And whether you actually manage to kind of keep it together or retch, I'll leave that to you. But you just can't stomach looking in this tent. It's just too unpleasant, the stench.
Can I look around and find like maybe some leaves to make like some sort of, like maybe soak the edge of my garment to put over my face to make some sort of like protective mask?
Sure. Yeah. So you can like run off to the river and sort of like soak your a bit of your sleeve that you tear off, something to hold up against your nose. Maybe use a little bit of druidic magic to kind of scent it with strong floral smells. And this time when you return, and Marcel, Tarkhal, and Azara are watching this, this time you manage to kind of stomach it as you look in. You can see it's the body of a they probably would have once been quite a strong, healthy-looking individual, but now their body is just desiccated. It's rotten. It's turned into a kind of like putrid corpse. But it's not just the blisters and the boils. You can see that whatever killed this man or this person, this huge claw mark down its chest. I mean, the claws must have been sort of like 5 inches long, and they've just torn through flesh and bone. And then the whole body is just covered in these blisters and the burns. And looking at it, this is definitely some sort of natural poison, like a really intense poison that has almost acted like an acid and contacted with the skin, causing it to erupt into these blisters and things like that.
Have I ever seen any animal cause marks like this?
this is not a natural animal. This would not be like a beast, like a bear or a wolf or anything like this. This must be a monstrosity, something like, you know, you've heard of things like, you know, trolls or wyverns, that kind of creature we're talking about here. This isn't just like a natural animal.
Mm-hmm. I relay that to the group. No natural creature caused this.
Are there any footprints, like clawed footprints on the ground around us? I know you said it's been like 10 days since there was a fire, but...
Yeah, it has been a long time, but, you know, there is tracks. Even though it's been a long time, it looks like the earth here is very soft, but also whatever moved here has left some sort of secretion that has tinged the ground. And you Azara, you notice that it's not one set of footprints. It's one very large set of clawed footprints that have kind of raked at the ground, left these indentations. And then there's maybe like 3 or 4, 5, you're not quite sure of the number, but tiny little pads, like 3 circles, like a little dog print, like dog paw print. And that's what's left, this like sticky, kind of strange smelling secretion. And they trail off further north. Looks like they're heading towards where the river actually intersects into the steep valley, where there's these big kind of hills and mountains and things like that.
So they're 2 separate like sets of tracks, the doggy ones
all
and the
going
claw
in the same
ones?
direction. They're 2
or
different.
Is it like an animal that had like front claws and back paws?
2 different. You imagine that this must have been different creatures, the size difference and things like that. Like these little tiny secreted things are tiny. They're little tiny little things.
Oh, cute little slug puppy.
Yeah, like it's weird to kind of put it down. I think like, yeah, Zara, you just don't recognize what this creature could be. I mean, the big thing is big. It's, you know, large creature, clawed, very tall. But the little ones, just, yeah, no idea. I find as well, just looking around the camp, if anybody else looks around, things like the mining equipment is all gone. You don't see any pickaxes. You don't see any sort of, you know, anything really, or like chisels or anything that would be used by a mason, you know, as far as you know. That all seems to have been gone as well, taken.
I would turn to the boys since they're there, and I would say, aren't you 2 adept at hunting and tracking? I think this is more up your alley.
These 2.
They just stand there.
They just stand there in silence looking at you.
We should follow those tracks. See where it led to.
Is this really our concern right now? I thought we're after the quarry.
Well, we have to find our mason, who's clearly been taken by whatever this is. Having lived in the woods, do I think that this beast took prisoner masons?
I mean, if it's like an animal, yeah, I mean, an animal's not going to take a prisoner. It's just going to eat them. If it's what Agnis said, where it's maybe something like a bit more intelligent, like a magical creature,
then they would.
You've lived in the King's Forest, and you know that there are strange magic monsters that live in there, that you have been told stories by your dad about all sorts of things that can come out of the wood. Red caps that come and steal children away, hags, green hags that will pretend to be beautiful women and lure men to their deaths. You've heard about wyverns, you know, these huge drake-like beasts with poison stingers. Trolls, all sorts of nasty things can live in the natural wildlands around here. It's what makes the people that live in the King's Forest quite a tough stock, because they have to kind of tend to these dangers. So yeah, if it's one of those.
So then Tarkhal, knowing all of that Shady definitely knew, he would just agree with Marcel. Yes, you're definitely right. Perhaps this is where we can find Dagmar.
And you think, Tarkhal, you think that you could easily follow these tracks. You've practiced hunting with your father. You know, the others maybe don't have that hunting skill, but you could follow these tracks easy. You don't even need to make a roll for it, because this is what you've done as a kid growing up.
Sweet. Then I totally want to do that. And I say, I can totally follow these tracks because it's what I did growing up. My father taught me. I put my hood up and I start getting to work tracking these tracks.
Sure. Yeah. So with Tarkhal leading the way, unless there's any objections or anything else you guys want to do, you can just basically motor. You can just follow these tracks. They lead you deep, following along the river. They stick quite close to the river, the tracks. At points, they disappear into thick reeds and almost like not quite marshland, but shallow water. And then they reappear on, the same bank, but further down. You kind of have to look around for a bit, and then you realize the tracks they've obviously gone in the river for a bit and then come back out onto land, which is strange. There's definitely some oddities here. You find along the path as you're going, one half-eaten arm. It appears to be, maybe it'll belong to a very muscular woman, and the arm has been torn off and the muscle has been chewed at and eaten, the bone crunched and broken, and then it's been discarded. And it's just kind of rotten away in some underbrush. The tracks continue on. And after about 2-3 hours, you come to a kind of plunge pool connected to the river. And there is a small waterfall that flows down from the Tempest Valley itself and forms into the larger river. And you can see that there is a series of caves dotted around this plunge pool. And there seems to be one behind the waterfall. And the tracks basically lead up to the plunge pool and then they vanish, having waded through the water. So whatever was here has gone into a cave nearby.
Is there any indication of which direction that cave would have been, or?
Judging by the angle that the tracks kind of approach the pool, you suspect that if they carried on straight, they would have gone into the one behind the waterfall itself. It does seem to be the most secluded and the most protected from predators. If you were sort of thinking of, where would I hide if I was like an animal, or if I was out here, by myself, where would I choose to try and camp?
Are we going in, Tarkhal?
I believe this is where the animal had went, or whatever we're tracking right now. I suppose it's going to be a bit dark in there, so anything you can do to whip up some light for us once we're in?
Fire spirit.
Okay.
I think the fire spirit does shed light.
Yeah,
naturally.
Even if it doesn't say it does, I'm going to say it gives you at least some. You will need to kind of like wade through this plunge pool. It's not deep. It would probably come up to your waist for most of you, and then pass under the waterfall. But yeah, then you can easily just climb up into the cave system. No problem.
I'm going to get my sword ready and also detect evil and good and just have that going for the next 10 minutes.
Cool. Read that out for me, Nate, just like the description. It's not a spell I know super well off by heart.
For 10 minutes, concentration, if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet of you, as well as where the creature is located.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Are you channeling that through the spell, or is that like your thing? Through the sword, sorry, or is that a muscle as well? So you hear the voice echo from the sword. Yes, I'll keep an eye out. Keep a sense out for it, or whatever that's around here. Yes, I can do that. No problem. And you feel the sword kind of sending out these pulses of magic, almost like an echolocation, like this pulse, and then nothing back, pulse, nothing back.
Cool.
And you continue the concentration on it. If Tarkhal leads you through, you wade through the pool. It's icy cold as you wade through it, but you pull yourselves up and you see that the cave system turns into a narrow set of tunnels. And with the fire spirit kind of flickering, casting this dull orange glow, reflecting off these, polished stone walls. You can just about hear, I think, Agnis and Marcel, with your super high perceptions, you can hear what sounds like chirping, like this kind of noise. And then there's almost like a
croaking.
Yeah, like a croaking noise. Yeah, coming from it's echoing down the tunnel, which is why you can hear it, but it's further down in.
I know that we're not expecting natural creatures, but can I roll a nature check to see if those indicate any kind of like genus of species? I don't think
frog.
I don't know, whatever I'm saying.
I mean, it was a frog's croak. Like, you don't even need to make a roll. It was definitely like a.
Well, what
a
about the chirp?
toady The chirping was weird. It wasn't a bird, and it wasn't a mammal's chirp. It wasn't a sound I don't think you would have heard before. I don't think it's something that Agnis would be familiar with.
I've never heard a chirp like that before.
There was definitely a frog. There's definitely a frog in there as well.
The other one was definitely a frog. In
Yes.
case anyone was wondering.
We're fighting Greninja.
Agnis's voice does echo a little bit down the hall as you speak. You kind of hear the words echo a little bit.
I send my fire spirit kind of like flying slowly ahead, shedding light on the cavern, and I continue pressing forward as long as everyone's coming with me.
Everyone else backing her up?
Yep.
So it doesn't take you long. There's maybe about 60, 70 feet down through this corridor, and you emerge into a small chamber. There's a couple of dull pools, stalagmites and stalactites hanging from the wall. Quite a large open chamber, maybe about sort of 60 feet wide, 60 feet long. On the other side of it, you can see that what once would have been a natural kind of archway in the stone has been covered with thick vines and moss that's now growing and hanging down like a curtain over a doorway. And it's been sort of purposely stuck there to grow and fill this archway. And then scattered around the pools within this chamber are creatures. You can see little shrines made out of driftwood and mining supplies. They've almost been put together in a loose temple-like format. And sitting around, kind of chirping and croaking and making noises in the direction of this wooden shrine are 5 little frog people. One of them is red and 4 of them are green, and they whip round when they hear you guys approach, and they begin babbling kind of to each other, pointing at you. And then they look back to the shrine, and then
like Ewoks.
There's definitely an Ewok vibe. If Ewoks were tiny frogs, and you can see that they've got weapons. They have like little spears. Looks like they've found like broom handles, and they've stuck like old rusted knives to the top tips of them by, vines and moss and seaweed. You can see that there are a few eggs in these pools as well that are kind of glowing and filling up the space. But these things, they don't seem frightened of you. They seem kind of curious that you're here. One of the big red one, the red one is a bit larger than the 4 green ones, and it kind of prods one of them, and it chirps to it in this strange language.
That's not a language.
I love how the 4 of you are just like, what?
Well,
Marcel just, have any of you seen a mason in these caves?
Oh, God.
Speak now, honestly.
The red one turns around and it puffs up its little chest and its cheeks swell.
I don't know what it said.
I don't either. And I don't think that speak with animals would help in this situation. These are clearly humanoids.
The red one kind of jabs towards you with its spear. It's like making this sort of gesture, like.
I've got my sword out. I just kind of like knock the spear away.
It kind of like jumps back. It leaps back, and you can see that its leap is very, powerful. It like jumps back several feet, and it kind of like it points towards Marcel, and you can see the 4 little green ones are now like, and they're getting little blow darts ready.
No, I motioned for him to put his sword down. Marcel, stop that. You're threatening them.
I'll sheath my sword.
I hold my hands up and try to calm them down.
One kind of nods its head and like plants its spear firmly. He thinks he's won. He's won a battle. And the 4 little ones chirp to each other.
Quick question.
Mm.
With message, does that defy language barriers?
Oh, yeah, 'cause
don't
it's telepathic.
believe it does, but
Even
let's
though
have a
it's
look.
telepathic, it doesn't
Well,
say
let's have a
anything
look.
about it.
Doesn't say at all.
No, it just
Ah.
says you point a finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message. Only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
So I think that because it's not telepathic, it's basically you are physically
With a
whispering,
whisper.
and then it
Yeah.
hears it, and then it can reply,
Oh.
but nobody else can hear it. So it's not telepathic. So yeah, you can try it, and you just hear like the red one sort of looks around, looks at you, and then it sends back.
This archway, that's behind
Yes.
them, right?
Yeah, it's kind of, they're off to the side. If you've got like a big spherical, imagine like a big round 60-foot chamber.
Mhm.
They're off to one side where they've built this wooden shrine. And you can see there's kind of looking at the shrine, it's all sorts of like random bits of wood and stuff have been stuck to it, but they're definitely, shrine is the best way to describe it.
Right.
That's off to one side. The curtained archway is directly opposite where you've come in. And you think you can see like another short corridor, like a stone tunnel leading away from that.
I'm gonna immediately head to that.
So when they see Marcel moving towards it, the little frogs kind of jump, quickly try and get in front of him, and they're like,
I'll just walk through.
okay. Yeah, you just push through. Marcel, when you get to the curtain and you kind of push it away and step through, can you make a con save for me, please?
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus.
Interesting. Not one.
Oh,
So as you brush
Jeez.
the moss, because it's quite thick, there's this thick moss and vines, and you kind of brush it away to move through it, and it kind of, crosses your face and skin. You realize it's covered in this thick, sticky substance that is invisible when you touch it. And it's sickening. It's physically, it makes you feel ill as it touches your skin. You're going to take, not a lot, 6 points of poison damage as it's just like, and you feel it sting, and it leaves like this sore rash all over your skin as it touches you. And one of the little grungs, the green frogs, attempts to run past you deeper into the cavern. What do you do?
I'll turn back to the party. It's like, don't touch those. And I'll just keep walking.
Okay. So the little grung kind of hops ahead of you. What do the rest of you guys do as Marcel now sort of like moves about 60 feet ahead through this curtain?
Well, first seeing the fact that the curtain hurt him, I'm going to summon my mage hand again and have it pull back all of the curtain so we can walk through it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. That's great. Yeah, so you pull it aside. As the rest of you start making your way through it, the little red frog and the 3 remaining frogs just begin chanting. You hear like,
Quiet.
quiet, 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 quiet. And then Marcel, as you reach the end of this corridor and your quiet kind of echoes through, you see, well, you hear it first. You hear this deep guttural, what is this? Come, little miners. And I would like everyone to roll initiative for me.
ooh.
Oh.
Yay!
Marcel just replies, yikes.
I got an 18 total.
18 total for Azara. Marcel.
15 from... Oh,
Oh,
just kidding.
15. No, you if you've got it, just tell me. 15 for Agnis?
15 from Agnis.
Who next?
18.
18 for Marcel.
14
And
for
Tarkhal?
Tarkhal.
14. Okay. So Azara, you're the first one to kind of react, and back sort of as you guys are just making your way past this curtain, you hear this bellowing, guttural, nasty voice echoing out. And you see the 3 little creatures behind are bringing up these blowpipes and these spears, and now they look like they're going to attack. What would you like to do?
Okay, so I'm in the room with the little demon
So
boys.
I think you guys had separated the curtain. You'd moved
Right.
up to it. You're in that big open space, but right at the curtain.
Gotcha.
Marcel has moved about sort of 30 feet down into this corridor ahead of you.
Gotcha.
And these things are like 10, 20 feet behind you.
Oh, behind?
Yeah, like to the
Okay,
side.
right.
Yeah, to the side. They're
what
nearby.
configuration do they happen to be in?
They're all in like a little line facing towards you.
Facing towards me. Interesting. Now, how far are they from us?
Like 20 feet.
Okay.
Like
okay.
20 feet. So like
Cool,
if you had like a 20 feet from you, and then they're all in a line, a line in front of you, but not like a line horizontally, like they're kind of like a little shield line.
Gotcha. So hypothetically, fireball would not hurt any of us. It would only hurt them.
Yeah, fireball would definitely hurt all of them.
Okay, well, 100%. I feel like that's a little too mean. All right, then I'm going to cast Dragon's Breath at the 3rd level on myself.
Okay.
As my bonus action first. And then I'm going to, in a line, to get all, because they're cone. In a cone.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna hit all of them with the cone.
I can. Okay.
Yeah,
I want to breathe.
These are only tiny things.
Lightning damage on them to get that extra
what do I need to do?
point too. That is a Dex of 14.
Dex of 14. Okay. Grung 1 succeeds.
Okay.
Grung 2 succeeds.
Okay.
Grung 3 fails.
Okay.
And then the red one fails as well.
Okay, I still have to do 4d6 of lightning damage.
4d6 of lightning damage. The 2 that succeed take half. The other 2 take the full.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus 2 for my lightning affinity. So that's 11 points.
11. So 5 for the halves.
And I'm hoping kind of like to shock them enough to get them to drop their blowtorch or blow pipes.
Blow pipes.
Blow things.
You try, you channel enough, and 2 of them leap out of the way, and so they're only blasted by the lightning. But one little green frogman takes the full brunt of this lightning breath, and he pops. It's like you just see him kind of like, and then his body just kind of falls apart. And the red one, you can see it kind of like quivering and shaking and shuddering, and then you just hear like this big sort of like.
I think Azara will actually like gasp a little bit because that's not what she meant to do. She just meant
11
to get
points of damage, man. It killed him.
It's to drop the weapon.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Anything else from Azara?
Agnes looks at Azara like.
And Azara looks shocked. So she's like,
mortified.
no. Absolutely mortified.
Okay. Marcel, so to describe what you see, emerging at the end of this corridor, coming from another room further down, you see this green-skinned, 9 feet tall, scaled, mutated-looking troll. And you can see its body is covered with boils and pustules, and it has this thick yellow pus kind of seeping all over its body. And in its hand, it has a leash, like it has 4 leather leashes, and it's pulling it behind it. And you can see that there are 4 humanoid figures kind of stumbling weakly behind it as well. And it kind of looks in your direction. What do we have here then? What would you like to do?
Do I recognize anyone on the leash to match the description of the Mason?
Yes, there is a dwarven woman. She looks very exhausted, like she can barely stand up. And she's kind of being pulled and yanked around by this leash. And then there are 3 more, like a mixture of humans and half elves and a dwarf. But there's very clearly a dwarven woman who would match Dagmar's description.
I want to ask her really quick. I just like point my sword, be like, "Are you Dagmar?"
You see, like, she kind of blinks at recognition of the name and sort of squints. Yeah. Help.
Point to the big guy. You there. Release them now and your death will be quick and painless.
I'm gonna eat you.
That was not an option. And I'm gonna firebolt them.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the fire launches from the blade. Give me the attack roll.
Yep. That is a.
It's about 30 feet away from you as well, by the way.
That is a 14 to hit.
14 to hit is just not enough. You see that this thing, it brings up one claw and smacks the fire out of the air. And you can see it doesn't like the momentary touch, but it isn't enough to get the full spell to impact against its body. And it just kind of, fire, no.
Okay, well,
no fire.
Then with war magic, I'm going to take a swing at it.
So you will need to move 30 feet up to it, which you can do. You can move in between attacks. So you can cast a spell, move in, and then swing a sword at it. But you'll need to get into melee.
That's fine with me.
Okay, go for it.
All right. That's better. 21.
That will hit, however, as the sword connects.
So that is 8 total damage.
8 total damage.
And then I would like to use my action surge.
Before you do that, as the sword bites into this thing's flesh, as it hits in and you pull the sword free, this horrid, misty, like pus erupts out from the wound. You are going to take 8 points of poison damage, but more importantly, the 4 individuals being dragged on the leashes are also sprayed by this mist. And you can see that they've already got like several burns and things, and they kind of hold their arms up as they get sprayed by it. One of them kind of stumbles to a knee but manages to keep standing. But yeah, what would you like to continue?
Fuck. Then
you don't have to use your action surge.
You know what?
You still could as well.
Yeah, you know what? I'll use what were the leashes? Were they like metal or
leather? They're like a thick leather. They look like they've been made from like horse, harness.
I wanna use my action surge to try and hack them off the leashes.
Yeah, absolutely. Just make an attack roll for me. You just need to hit the leash. It will snap with one good swing. So
okay, that is a.
And I'm assuming, do you want to go for Dagmar first, or like do you want to target her leash first and then go for another one?
Are they like that separated? I was thinking like if they're like together.
You need to target each leash individually.
Okay, then Dagmar first. That is a total of 12 to hit.
12. It's such a thin, narrow piece that the swipe just barely goes wide, and does not connect.
Cool.
Do you have extra attack? Because if you use action surge, you get both attacks.
Oh my God. So here.
Action
okay,
surge,
so that.
good.
So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna try again.
Yep, sure.
And I'm just gonna use everything to try and, kill a small piece of leather.
Yep, it's just hitting it. If you can hit it, it will break. It's just you've got to hit it, and you were close, but it
does a 19 hit.
Yes, that definitely does. And you see the leather kind of snap, and Dagmar staggers back, and she definitely seems to realize what you've done, and you can see that she's getting ready to move out of the way as best as she can. It's not quite her initiative that she does that. But yeah, I missed out on that. Anything else, Marcel?
No, that would be it.
Okay. You see that the wound that you dealt to this troll begins melding, and the flesh begins kind of matching and fixing again together as it regenerates some of the damage that you dealt. And then it's basically going to try and swipe at you twice and bite you as it swings. The first one is a 9 to hit, Marcel.
Nope.
No. The second one is a 16 to hit.
Yep.
And then the third one is that's like a 25 to hit. Let's see, that's this. So that's going to be 10 points of slashing damage and 2 points of poison damage from the first claw. And then another 10 points of slashing damage and 4 points of poison damage as the second claw slam into you, trying to parry and deflect yourself as these two claws come smashing in. And it just roars. This my cave, my land, my worshippers. Agnis.
Marcel's like replies. He's like wreathing in pain and poison. And he's just, shut up.
Agnes is gonna put her hands up and she's gonna go, "Hey there, big fella. Sun's getting real low." And she's gonna cast Charm Monster on him.
Oh shit, Charm Monster specifically.
Yeah.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw, I take it.
Yeah, at 15.
56. So you watch, like you hold the hand up and it kind of just, its eyes kind of go slack. Holds its hand up. Nice
okay.
lady.
Yeah, I am a nice lady. And you're a nice creature
Troll.
as well. Troll. You're a nice troll as well. You know what nice trolls do? They let go of leashes.
But they make my house bigger.
Leashes make your house bigger?
No, squishy ones on leash.
Well, I think you should let go.
Okay.
Good job.
And, like, lets the leashes go. And you can see that the stonecutters and Dagmar are kind of like kneeling on the ground. You can see they look exhausted, like they've not slept and eaten, but they kind of like slump down. The big troll kind of looks around like, "Oh, froggies, no kill nice lady, kill other ones."
Oh, what the fuck?
Tarkhal, what do you do? Because there's still some little frogmen, but you don't know how they're going to react. They're still reeling from the lightning breath. So what do you do?
Bad.
Oh, actually, Mark, he should have had advantage because we're fighting the troll.
Thank you. That's a 3, so it was worse.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
So it all plays out.
Okay.
So the troll did, when he let go of the leashes, did the other people like back up? Did they
Wait.
back away?
Yes.
2 things. First, I have a bonus action, and second thing, I also whisper to my companions, if you hit him, it will end the spell.
Okay.
Be careful.
You guys know each other well enough, by the way, that like, yeah, stuff like that, feel free to just say you guys would know that if you attack, it's going to break the spell. I don't care about stuff like that. But yeah, bonus action if you want to. What do you want to do with that? Just quickly before we do Tarkhal.
Well, actually, I was gonna say that I do some damage with my wildfire spirit, but if I'm trying to keep the troll charmed, I think I'm not. I'm just gonna move over toward the prisoners.
The prisoners, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tarkhal, for your question, they don't back away. Most of them just kind of collapse to their knees where they were. You can see that they're just so exhausted. Dagmar is trying to pick herself up, and you can see her like reaching for a pickaxe that's nearby. And she's kind of like reaching for it, but she looks woozy and, you know, somebody who hasn't been looked after very well.
Okay. I think, well, I would just want to, if I can, get close to the prisoners and help them. Like,
yeah,
am I going to have enough movement to help them move any way towards the exit of the cave, or?
You will do. You won't be able to fully exit, but you'll be able to get them to basically where the little frog guys are, and you can probably carry one of them. Like, you can kind of like have one up on your like, you know, half shoulder somebody and move with them,
yeah,
if you want to.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I want to grab Dagmar.
Okay, she as you're kind of pulling, she's like, "No, I've got to. The others, they got to save them as well. This my mess." And she's kind of, but she can't. She has no strength to fight back, so you're kind of pulling her away.
Yeah.
As you do so. Okay, yeah.
I'm here to save all of you, and that's my turn.
Okay, yeah. The troll doesn't attack you because it's so focused on Agnis. It's just sort of like, "Oh, who's taking my squishy ones? Froggies, stop them." The frogs, 2 of the frogs just take one look at Azara and the kind of pink mess of their friend. They look at the red one and they're like, and then the red one I'm going to make a quick saving throw. The red one looks at Azara with all the hatred that a tiny frog can muster, and it points at Azara. And all three of them are going to go for Azara as best as they can.
Oh,
Because
it's like little toddlers against
brother.
a sorcerer.
Yeah.
This isn't going to go well for them, though.
So, 17
That
with
hits.
the first blow dart.
Yeah.
The next one is only an 11 with the next
Nope.
blow dart. And then the next one is an 11 with that blow dart. So that's
Nope.
the 3 regular ones. So you take 3 points of piercing damage, but I need you to make a con save.
Okay. 8, 9, 10, 11.
11. That is just a failure by 1.
Oh no!
So you're going to take 5 points of poison damage. You feel like your body kind of getting sluggish. One of your arms feels really numb as this long, thin, almost looks like a piece of coral is like sticking out of your neck, and you're like, as this thing slowly begins making its way through your system, this toxin.
That's rude.
And then after that, the red one will kind of just jump up and down really, really angrily, and it will raise its little hands, and all these tiny little stone spikes begin conjuring beneath your feet. It's just like it's like almost like little stone caltrops begin emerging under everybody's feet as it does so. Azara, what would you like to do?
Well, now I don't feel bad about killing them.
They have hurt me. Now they must die.
That's how it goes. So I might as well. Let's see. Yeah, that sucks for them. Okay, I'm going to. There's only 3 of them left, right?
There's 3 green ones and 1 red one.
3 green and 1 red. Never mind.
2 of the green ones look really hurt as well.
Yeah. Well, I might as well. So for the 2 green ones that are hurt and then the red one, I'm going to cast Mind Thrust at the 4th level.
Okay. What does this do?
I just watched Jonathan like Google Mind Thrust. You were awakened.
I thrust a lance of psychic disruption into the mind of 1 creature, but at the 4th level, it's 2 additional targets.
Okay.
That I can see within range. The target must make an intelligence saving throw. On a failed save, they take a 3d6 psychic damage, and it can't take a reaction until the end of its turn. Moreover, on its next turn, it must choose whether it gets a move, an action, or a bonus action. It only gets one of the 3.
Okay. One of the green ones succeeds.
Okay.
How, I don't really know, but it resists. But yeah, the red one and the other green one fail.
Okay.
Whatever you do. So was it 3d8 psychic?
3d6, and he's still the one that saved still takes half as much damage, but he doesn't suffer the effects.
Okay. Does it do increased damage if you use a high level spell as well?
No, it's just an additional target.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Let's see. Oh god, no! That's 16 points of damage.
Right. Okay. Yep. So all 3 of them die. You watch as their little froggy heads. You just see them like begin to shake, like their little heads begin vibrating, and then you just hear and they just collapse, like little blood spurts out their little froggy ears, and then they just fall down dead.
Dude, this is like watching like a giant with immense strength like try to pick up a tiny ant and just like like
the last remaining frog just gets on his knees and like holds like the little body of his like red like friend. And he just looks up at the group of you. You're out of initiative.
Azara, maybe some restraint here.
Pretty lady, they killed my froggies.
In my defense, they shot me with poison.
I like the froggies.
Perhaps we should get everyone out of here. Post haste.
Yeah, we're gonna my friend Troll, we'll go outside and check if there's anyone else threatening your froggies.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
You stay here.
Outside, bright, no good.
We'll be careful.
Stay dark. Okay.
And I'm
Good
like
friend.
with Tarkhal, I'm kind of like ushering the people behind me, like
like with
we'll
everybody's
be
help.
outside. Yeah.
What does Marcel? Anything like? Are you just like, oh, okay, yep.
If we're like leaving and like carrying people out of the cave, are we like basically out of the cave at this point?
You can, yeah. I mean, there's no threats to you anymore. You've got one super sad frog and one charmed troll. So,
on our way out,
as we're like,
no, go on.
Go
if you
for
go,
it.
Nate, and then
I was
we'll
gonna
switch
say,
to
as we're like walking out, I'll like tail the end, and like once we're at the exit, I'm gonna turn around at the red frog and just flick a little ice knife at him.
What?
The red one's dead, but there is a green one left. There's a green one left. Okay, so yeah. So you guys get to the end, and then both Azara and Marcel, you both.
No, I was gonna heal it.
Oh, you were gonna heal it. Okay. So Marcel, you do your ice knife, and then Mica, what are you healing it with, like a cure wounds or something? Or?
No, well, I mean, if he throws an ice knife at it, that's it. I can't do shit.
So you reach out for him as this knife.
Yeah.
Like,
I was gonna reach out to pat him on the head as an apology and
Well,
that's a 15 to hit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that hits the tiny frog. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That would
Why?
be
This can get really good technically.
because I'm like hurt and bleeding out, and everyone's just like, oh, let's just walk out. I'm like, ugh. And that is 7 damage.
Yep. Okay. 7. Okay.
Cool. And then the ice knife explodes.
Yep.
There we go.
So this shard of ice embeds into the little frog's chest, and then
dealing another 8 points of damage.
Oh yeah, you kill him. Yeah, he's dead. You just watch as this ice embedded in his chest just erupts. How much does it erupt? Like, is it a 5-foot radius around?
It's a 5-foot radius.
Yeah,
it's not enough to hit the troll.
Dang it.
But yeah, you just see it kind of explode, and the troll looks down, and he looks up. He's like, "Friend, he killed my last froggy. Kill him. We should kill him."
I'm so sorry. I don't know why he did that. I can't answer for him at all. I look at Marcel.
I am covered in blood, yellow acid, holding my side. My like arm is limp, and I like can't walk straight. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
I killed him.
I like hobble out.
You see the troll is beginning to approach like the exit of the tunnel.
No,
It's
you
like,
stay there. It's really it's really important that you stay there. We're outside. We're going outside. It's very bright, scary.
But friend, he killed my last froggy. Oh,
he'll you know what? He'll probably die outside.
Yes,
Good.
I'm going to go outside and die for killing
you.
Friend.
You should die, bad man.
Yes, I am a very bad.
You see the troll kind of slink around like, oh, now I've got no squishy. Now I've got no froggy. I find more froggy. I find you, bad man. I find you. And then it retreats into its little cave troll cave.
Have day.
And yeah. You guys find yourselves outside with 4 very exhausted prisoners, but very grateful to be rescued. Marcel heavily injured, and the image of a lot of exploded dead froggies.
I look at Azara and Marcel, and I'm like, why? Why? They were a semi-intelligent slave race, basically. Why?
In my defense, before Marcel killed the last one, I was going to heal it. I felt bad.
What strategic importance did it have to kill the frog people, Marcel?
I felt better. They were worshiping this thing that was keeping innocent people enslaved. I'd say, if given the chance, they would have tried even harder to kill us.
And they would have failed.
Well, it's fail now or fail in the future. I brought them all together.
I respect your opinion, and I disagree. Anyway, she turns and she goes to administer to the
Can I roll insight on that respecting opinion? Cool. Okay, so
I mean, yeah.
Cool.
I
So
don't
that's a
think you need-
17 doubt.
I mean, yeah, I think you know.
I think she
you know
wants
it.
to respect your opinion. Anyway, then she just turns her attention to the prisoners and trying to, like, do any of them look in such bad shape that we need to cure wounds before we get them back?
I mean, they were all splashed by some of that acid. For sure, some of them definitely could use light healing. Not anything massive or major. The biggest thing that you can tell, that the biggest worry for them is they just look exhausted. Like, they look like they've had days without food and sleep. They mainly need rest, but certainly some healing would give them some energy to help them get back. Otherwise you might probably need to carry some of them.
Yeah, I'll cast Cure Wounds on whoever looks the most like can't even stand on their own.
I mean, that's pretty much all 4 of them.
I
could
cast
do like
it on the stonemason lady, whose name I
On-
keep forgetting. Dagmar?
Dagmar, yeah.
Cast on
you can-
Dagmar.
Sure. I mean, if you're casting at first level, it's fine. I'm not going to track hit points on these guys. You see a little bit of life and color come back to her skin, and she's currently still like being supported up by Tarkhal. And she kind of looks up at Tarkhal, kind of blinking for a moment. And she's dwarven in stature, but she has bright red hair, rosy cheeks, big blue eyes, and she kind of blinks. You can see she's kind of a bit dirty where she's been like kept in squalid conditions, but she also looks like she's got fucking buff arms, like this is somebody who works with stone every day. She's very well built, very athletic, and she kind of like blinks. Thank you. Oh, thank you all. I thought that thing was going to be the death of all of us. Dagmar Iron Eyes, I come from Eveningstar Adventurers. If you can just get me back there, we should have some folks that can look after me. Just get me back there. They'll make sure that you get a reward or something.
Rescuing you is its own reward.
To be rescued not just by some kindly adventurers, but some sweethearts as well. That's very kind of you, young lady. Thank you.
I check if any of them are missing an arm.
None of these guys are. No, none of these guys are missing an arm.
She looks relieved.
I have rations in my equipment. Can I like split up the rations and give them out? So I want to kind of rifle through my pouch and start handing out like some pieces of bread. And I'll say, what our dear lady here has failed to also mention is that this is Lady Agnis Crownsilver, Lord Tarkhal Crownsilver, the new Baron and Baroness of Eveningstar. So it is actually not just our pleasure, but our job to return you to your home.
I think the 3 other stonecutters don't really notice what you're saying. They're too busy like food, drink, water, food. Like they're so focused on that. But Dagmar literally stops midway through a mouthful as you say, "This is Lord and Lady Crownsilver," and you just hear like a. I am so sorry, Lord, my Lord and Lady. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to mistake you for just some common adventurers. You just gotta understand. I didn't expect you to come for us yourselves. I'd heard that you might be coming. Thank you very much. I can only express my deepest gratitude. Thank you so much.
It's still our pleasure, regardless of our titles.
We know that it's different to have the nobility venture out themselves, but things are going to be different in Eveningstar for the better, and we would appreciate if this act proves that we have your interest and the people's of Eveningstar's best interests in mind as things move forward.
You speak very kindly, my lord, and of course, you don't need to. I'm not actually from Cormyr originally, so a lot of your fancy noble speak, I don't really get a lot of it, but I understand what you're saying, and yes, of course, I'll make sure that people know. It's good to see some folks actually getting something done. The last Lord of Eveningstar, he was a bit of a wet blanket, to be honest, a bit of a miser and a coward. So it's great to see people that actually give a damn and are willing to put their own necks on the line. There's plenty of people like that in Cormyr. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I do that when I'm a bit nervous and I'm a bit unsure. I'm glad, and of course I will. And no doubt you'll have work for me to be doing, things to build, a quarry to get started. It's really a fine location. I do think maybe if we can send some people to kill that troll eventually, that would be really good. It doesn't, just send some soldiers with a bunch of fire and burn him out or something. But he's gonna be a fucking problem if we leave him to be.
Wait, we're not leaving the troll. We're not leaving here before killing the troll. And I look to Agnis and the party. I assume we're going back in there while he's still your friend, right?
He does seem to be quite a threat to our people.
Marcel's like,
Marcel's bleeding. Now he just he turns around and starts like limping back toward the cave.
Before he does that, I want to grab his shoulder gently because I know he's injured and give him the potion, the red one, the minor healing potion.
The standard one.
Standard one.
Yeah, standard healing potion.
And I want to slap it on his chest and be like, don't be an idiot.
Do you drink it, Marcel?
No promises.
Look. Ooh, very good potion. That is 7 plus 2, 9 hit points for a regular. 9 hit points of healing back.
So Agnis, do you think you can get real close to this troll or just surprise him with some sort of fire? It sounded like he didn't like fire when Marcel attempted to burn him.
Yes, I have plenty of fire. Do you have anything specific you'd like me to distract him toward, or?
I just think he seems to think you're very, very. He keeps calling you pretty friend, so you have him charmed. Just, I'm sure whatever you do, he's not going to suspect you're meaning ill will until it happens. So
certainly,
ideally,
I'll
as you cast, I could toss my dagger as well. So maybe we could hit. I don't know how illegal that is above game, but I figured we can make a plan of action where.
Basically, you guys will have a surprise round because as long as you're with Agnis, he's just like, yep, Agnis is my friend. Like, as she doesn't suspect any foul play. So you could all basically go, I'm going to ready an action to throw a knife, to cast firebolt, to cast whatever spell. Agnis does it, and then all of your readied actions would go off immediately, and then we'd go into a proper round of initiative, basically. We could run it like that. Very easy to do. Like I said, how long does Charm Monster last, Anna? Is it an hour? I think it's an hour.
Let me double check.
Yeah, if you can check that.
It is 1 hour.
Yeah, so you still have plenty of time left on that. You can easily make your way back. Is there any other preparations, any other spells or things that the rest of you want to do as you're heading back in? Yes?
Oh, go for it.
No, go ahead. I want to cast Flame Blade.
Okay.
So that I can have my blade ready.
Okay.
So I just go, and a sword made out of fire appears in my hand.
This long blade of flame. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to summon my fire elemental.
Okay.
And have
Excuse
it kind
me?
of. You said fire. Yeah, I'm gonna summon my fire elemental and have it kind of trail out of sight because I feel like it wasn't there when we were all, on Agnes's side.
Big living dragon man of flame would probably draw the troll's ire, if nothing else.
Maybe.
Maybe. Cool. And do you want to get the stats for that up if you've not?
I have that up.
Perfect. Amazing.
Do you need me to tell them to you currently?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just make sure that they're ready to go.
All ready to go.
Tarkhal, Marcel, anything from you guys?
I'm just going to ready a firebolt for whatever stuff starts happening.
Okay. So as soon as basically it all kicks off, you're going to cast firebolt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm just going to go classic Kiss of Silver, Assassinate, etc.
Yeah, this would be a surprise round, so you could absolutely set this up for an Assassinate, right? Because I think you get auto crit on a surprise round. So
yep. Yeah.
Do you just want to make a stealth check for me, actually, just so that you're like to make sure that you're hidden properly to strike from the shadows?
Sure.
Thank you.
10 plus 10 is 20.
Yeah. Okay. This thing's not gonna fucking see you. Right. So you make your ways back into the cave. You find the cavern, dead frogs, but you can hear kind of grumbling and groaning coming from that second cave behind the poisoned curtain, if you will. Do you guys call out for the monster, or do you want to try and head through and catch it in its personal lair?
Let's have. I'll say, friend, come out.
Huh? For friend, pretty friend.
Come out.
Have you brought that nasty one for me to kill? And then you see a big kind of claw push the poisoned vines as he kind of steps through this big, tall, deformed, long-faced troll being emerges, covered in its sickening venom pustules, and it kind of
have
looks
brought him.
dead you in the eyes. Oh, good, me kill
But
now.
but I want to give you one chance to change your ways and become someone who does not kill.
Why?
I
like pretty friend, but me kill all the others. Me let you
No.
live. You good friend. Yes.
All right. Well,
get more froggies, get more squish.
All right. If that's your intention, then unfortunately we can no longer be friends.
Oh, pretty friend, why? He just looks really sad as you say that.
I'm very sorry, but sometimes these things happen when I can't allow myself to align with your views, and unfortunately you pose a danger to my town.
What is view?
Oh God.
And then, yeah.
She's like, oh man, and then she just hits him with the flamethrower.
Okay. So it does have to be a melee attack. I think it's a melee spell attack with a flame sword, and then everybody else's stuff basically all happens, right? So we'll start with Agnis, and then we'll go down with everybody else.
All right, my melee spell attack is going to be 23.
That is a hit. That is definitely a hit.
And it's 3d6 fire damage. So let's see.
Oh, yeah.
5, 11, 13.
13 points of fire damage.
And then also my my wildfire spirit is also going to pew a flame seed.
Is it? Okay. For how much?
And that'll be 1d8 plus 2. Or wait. I think, sorry. It's different than on this chart. One sec.
Okay. Learning new abilities.
It's always okay. 1d6 plus 3 is what it is. Okay. Whoa.
It's just everything that can happen.
6 fire damage.
6 points of fire damage. Okay. So as you strike it with the flame blade and you see it roar in defiance as this charm is broken, you just hear "friend live" as the flame courses down its body. These venom sacs explode and coat you in 10 poison damage as it hits you. As the
I did 3 more fire damage to him. I forgot to die.
No, that's fine. As the fire seed hits the creature, Agnis, you take another 5 poison damage. As the wound hits, more venom and poison sprays all over you as you move next to this thing.
So I got 5, and what was the first amount?
10.
10. Okay.
10 poison damage. And then we have, let's do Tarkhal's throwing a knife.
Okay, so this would be at advantage. So 18 plus 7, 25, and then not 25.
Yeah, that is a hit, and it's automatically a crit because of assassinate.
So do you do double damage for crit, or do you roll all the damage twice?
The way I personally like to do crits, I know this isn't normal D&D. What I tend to do is you max the dice, and then you roll the dice one more time. So if your dagger is a D4 plus 4, whatever, you do 4 max of the D4 plus the 4 for your mod, and then you'd roll another D4 on top of it, and then you do the same for the sneak attack damage. So,
whoa. Okay, so then 1d4 plus 4, so the base damage would be 8, and then I roll another d4.
Yep, that's just for the dagger, and then we'll do the sneak attack separately.
Okay, so that's going to be 10 for that.
10 points for that.
And then you want me to take the
damage?
4d6.
So what's the max of 4d6? That's
24.
12, 24 plus another 4d6.
Okay, wow. I'm just going to roll it on D&D Beyond then.
This is how I do crits to you guys, by the way.
That's really cool. That's amazing.
It makes them scary, and it makes them fun for you guys. So I
rolled
really
18, well. So then 24 plus 18 for the sneak attack damage.
18 plus 24 is...
42.
42 points of damage. So,
and then the dagger was 10, so 52 total.
Yeah, I got that. So the knife just comes whipping out the shadows and cuts the jugular line across this troll's neck. And you just see this bile blood just sprays everywhere over Agnis again. For 13 poison damage, Agnis, as every time it gets hit, this poison erupts out of the creature's body. But you see its hands go up to its throat, and I can barely talk. Marcel, or we've got Azara and then Marcel. I don't know what you guys want to just go at the same time.
I've
got a firebolt ready to go.
I was gonna have
a firebolt ready to go.
I was gonna have a fireball ready to go.
Well,
Sure.
cool.
Go for it.
All right, my
we'll do Marcel and then we'll do fireball.
Yeah, firebolt was a 26 to hit.
That's a hit.
So that is going to be. It's rolling. It's rolling. Come on. 7. Really? 7 fire damage.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, so you strike with a fire, and so as this kind of throat wound is opened by Tarkhal's knife, the firebolt singes in, burning the muscles and things like that. But again, it kind of like this gout of vomit emerges over Agnis. Another 6 points of poison damage, Agnis. It's just
the flame blade was a really bad idea in retrospect. Really bad. I have tons of ranged fire.
I know. It was one of those things that when you said it, I was like, okay. And then fireball from Azara.
Yeah, hoping to cauterize this.
Okay. So I'm guessing you want to place the fireball so it's behind the creature so it doesn't hit.
Yes, I'm actually hoping that it either cauterizes the wound or like burns the back of him.
2+1 on the dex save.
So well, the dex save is 14, so that's going to be. I'm casting at the 3rd level, so that's going to be how many?
8d6.
8d. Do I have that many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Nice.
That's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. 26 points of fire damage on his behind.
In the back behind this creature, this explosion of orange flame erupts and it cascades through the tunnel, completely engulfing this troll. But as it does, the last remnants of it, just this final surge of acid, washes over Agnis for another 11.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I tried.
But then this crumbled, charred corpse lands on the ground. And Agnis, you feel awful. You feel shivery and cold and feverish. Your skin is red wherever it's been exposed to this poison. It's red and blistered. It's like having chlorine in your eyes. They're stinging. And yeah, you just are covered in this stuff as you fight. But the body of this charred troll just.
Agnis is like, I'm gonna go now, and she starts just trudging out of the cave.
Just out of interest, Anna, how many hit points did you have left?
I had 14 left.
Oh my god.
My god.
So 1 or 2 more of those, and I would have been poison toast.
Yep, definitely.
As she's like kind of walking out past the cave, I'm still kind of holding my arm. I'm just like, oh, good thing there wasn't any advantage to killing that last frog.
I can't even open my eyes to look at him. I'm just like,
amazing. Yeah. Anything else from anybody else?
I just want to note that my fire spirit looks really disappointed that he didn't get to do anything before I unsummon him. He kind of like kicks at the ground.
Shocked.
Like this big ferocious fire dragon. It's like, no man.
Oh man. I didn't get to fight the troll.
Yeah, I wanted to fight the troll. I just wave him away and he unsummons.
Yeah.
I want to check, like, does it seem like this cave is empty now? Like this was.
Yeah, so if you kind of head back where it was, all the moss that was like hanging down, the poison moss is all burnt away by the fireball as well. If you head back there, you can see that there is some like scavenged mining equipment, so like pickaxes and chisels. And it looks like that the prisoners were being used to kind of forcibly open up this cave system and like make it bigger. You can see that there's all sorts of like, dirty piles of hay, old blankets that have been stolen from somewhere. It's a pretty foul smelling, disgusting lair of this creature. There's nothing really that immediately grabs your attention as being valuable or worthwhile. Except for maybe just for a brief moment, Tarkhal especially, you think that in the shimmering, the walls of the stone here are almost polished. They're like andrestite, where it's kind of got this shimmer to them. And you can kind of see a kind of semi-reflection in the fading light of Agnes's fire spirit behind. You can kind of almost see your own silhouette of reflection. And you swear for a second, the form seems to shift into the robed, green-eyed woman that you saw in the keep. And just kind of like looks at you, directly at you, Tarkhal, smiles, and then you blink and it's back to yourself.
Oh, I got goosebumps. Tarkhal has goosebumps. Is it worth me taking this equipment, the mining equipment, back?
I mean, you could send somebody to pick this stuff up. Now that the troll's been dispatched, like carrying it all by yourself would be exhausting and you'd have to make multiple trips. You could probably just say, hey, can we get a couple of people to go up and fetch all that equipment from there? You know, that'd be very easy for somebody in the town to do.
Sweet. Then if there's something of value here, then I'm just gonna walk out. Tarkhal's gonna walk out, kind of just like shaking his head and squeezing between his eyes. And
sure. Cool. As you do so, Marcel, as you're kind of making your way out with everyone else, you hear in your mind, like, are you okay? That seemed extremely painful. I got some of it on me, on the blade. It seemed pretty potent stuff.
We've been through worse. We'll be all right.
I know. That the red-headed one seemed to, well, I think she might perhaps understand why you were a bit annoyed, perhaps, after what she just went through.
You know,
you could be a bit nicer, you know, just a little bit.
Get some rest.
Dang.
Well, okay. Yeah. All right. Anything else from anything else? Anybody else?
I do want to walk over to Agnis.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
But kind of staying far away because I don't want to get any acid on me. Lady Crownsilver, I see that you are in pain. You are suffering. Would you like to use this last healing potion we have, or would you like to save it for a future adventure? I'd like to give you the option. I don't want you to decompose any further. However, I worry until we get a proper apostate, a proper potioner in our kingdom, these may be scarce. So maybe if you would like to use this potion today, we can put that on the priority list of getting an apothecary in town.
I'm fine. Just save it. I just need some rest. I'm fine.
Okay. I still would like to make the note about the apothecary, if that's
that's fine.
Right.
Yes.
I see you're busy, and I just kind of yeah, exactly.
Scuttle away.
Yes,
I've made my suggestion.
Yes, I've made my point.
Potion seller. You guys make your way back to the town. As you do, the miners now have the stonecutters, having now eaten. With Dagmar being a bit healed. Their spirits seem higher. You can see that as they pass the camp, there's definitely a look of sadness. Dagmar informs you that at least 2 of their members were killed by the troll. One of them was killed at the camp when they were taken prisoner, and then the other one was eaten midway as a snack as they make their way home. But they are relieved to be back. And as you arrive, you return to Eveningstar, the town, and you can see that hundreds of people have gathered, and they are waiting for you to all return. Banners have been put up. They look old. They look like perhaps old festival banners. You can see that there is something of a small kind of cooking celebration, like people have baked goods and have laid out long picnic tables, and they've placed them all out. And Dusk is mingling with a few people. There's a few guards, and Lady Alyssa, your knight blade captain, is there as well. And as you emerge back in the town and people realize it's you, this huge cheer begins going out, and just rounds of applause. People all start making their way up to you, like, oh, thank you, Lord and Lady Crownsilver. Thank you, Magister. Thank you, Minister. Like, kind of wanting to shake your hands, pat you on the back. They kind of look at Agnis like, terrified as they see this horrible condition that you're in. And I think when Dusk notices, he kind of quickly downplays it, like, "Oh, everyone, we should give her grace a bit of time to prepare, but they did just want to make you aware of their gratitude for everything you've done so far. Good counsel, Lord and Lady. We're going to be celebrating. We've got some food. We've managed to gather together a few things. Obviously, we understand that you have matters to attend to, but everyone just wanted to know that this is a very important day for Eveningstar, and we're very glad that you're all here. I'll attend to you in the morrow. Get some rest. I'll attend to you in the morrow with some updates on our situation."
Tarkhal can say a few words. Tarkhal, you address the people.
Oh, Baron, yes, please, my lord, if you would. The people would love to hear from you.
People of Eveningstar. I almost said people of Crownsilver. People of Eveningstar.
It's very
we have slain the troll that had stolen our stone cutters, and he will trouble us no more. We have taken the keep, all within the first. How long have we been here? Like 36 hours. Day and a half.
2 days. Yeah.
Yes, in less than 2 days we have done this, and we hope this induce some confidence in what we will do for you. We are not just rulers; we are here to serve. We will make life in Eveningstar a pleasure. Nay, it will be desired across the land to live in Eveningstar.
There's like a big kind of cheer, and you can see people kind of like, you know, a chant begins kind of building. Crownsilver to the prosperity, you know, prosperity for the village and stuff like that begins kind of building up. And we see kind of, you know, if this were a movie, the camera would pan back as this large crowd is all kind of like cheering and celebrating, patting people on the back. As I think Dusk and Lady Alyssa very quickly shuffle Agnis off back to the estate to get some rest, and people begin sort of crowding around. And I think, we see, you know, lots of young people kind of turning their attention to these fabulous new lords, these young, you know, prospective leaders, and there is an air of hope. And then just on the very edge, across the river, far, far away from Eveningstar itself, we see a woman with long dark hair and green robes just staring, smiling at the village. And that's where we're going to end today's episode.
Ooh, so cinematic.
I like doing stuff like that. I know it's kind of a bit immersion breaking, but that's how I picture stuff in my head. Yeah, cool.
I would hope that there would be like little fireworks Azara would have set off with minor illusion, just to add to what Tarkhal was saying, you know. Hype the crowd up.
Just in the background as we see that kind of final shot, just like little
like final scene of Mulan style, where like the fireworks are going off.
Yeah, I think, and I think that, you know, Lady Alyssa is extremely worried about Agnis, and you can see like this huge half-orc, like night woman, just like, "Oh, why did you go on your own?" kind of thing, like fretting like a mothered hen. We see Dusk kind of sat back and observing everything as it all goes down. But yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I hope did you guys have fun? I hope so.
Yes.
Of course.
Good
sesh.
So.
Good sesh. Quick question.
Yes.
The secrets that I have, not secrets, they'll be revealed.
Your letter.
My letter that I have received, is this something in the next few sessions, or is this something?
It takes about 4 days from yesterday. So,
okay.
And like I said, I think when we come back next week, I think I'm going to accelerate some days. So we're going to probably jump like 3 days ahead. Unless if you guys think of something like in 3 days, I would like to have done this. That's totally fine. Let me know, and we'll do that at the beginning of next week's session. But I think we're going to jump ahead a little bit of time so that we can kind of be like, right, everybody's gotten settled. Like Dagmar's back, they've rested, they've recovered. Dusk has had time to like go around and spread the message and get reports back on the things that you guys want to do. Some other stuff is going to happen. But yeah, we can go from there. So yeah, I think that by then we should have you should have your letter response for stuff. Cool.
Dope.
All right, should we do shout out things at the end?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Shall we start with Nate?
Hello. I had a fun time today. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, man.
Aside from that, not really much going on. So I'm gonna pass it over to Mica.
I also had a fun time today, so thank you, Mark. I also don't have much going on, but you can follow my Twitter and Instagram. They're at Mica Burton. But more importantly, follow my dog on Twitter. It's at Reenie's Wild Shape. She's freaking adorable, and she just got a haircut today, so I'm probably going to post that. So, poodles.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Dog
yeah.
Instagram for the win. Who you tagging?
Oh, yeah, Anna. My bad.
It turns out I also had a fun time today. So thank you, Mark.
Crazy.
And yeah, I announced a new role-playing show that I'm going to be starting next month with the group of people that I have, for the most part, been playing with since I started playing D&D. Awesome. A lot of them were involved in the Misclicks crew, and it's going to be called Pawns and Patrons. It's going to be a really unique structure where we're playing like a domain character and multiple smaller adventurers who serve them. So that'll happen once a month, and watch social media for that. I also have role-playing for Star Wars coming up on Thursday. And if you want some comfy new clothes to wear during quarantine, visit cantripbrand.com for Cantrip brand clothing that also supports Nate and I. Thanks. Okay, I choose Shady.
Hi guys, I'm Shady. I'm in desperate need of a bio break. I am looking for a Fall Guys esports team. If anyone is looking, I already have my first crown day one playing. You can catch me on social media, and I am going to pop it over to Mark.
Right. Okay. I'll be quick for Shady's benefit. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you for the players. If you want to see me do more DMing, D&D especially, main campaign, and then we do Curse of Strahd on Thursdays as well. Come and check that out. That's the best thing you can do to support me, is just go and watch High Rollers and tell people about High Rollers. Nobody knows about it, so go and tell people. That's it. That's it from me. That's it from, I think, everybody. Thank you, White Text Friend. We will see you all next week, I think. I think that's on the plan. So that's it from us. Take care. Goodbye, I guess.
Bye, everyone.
And I forget the next couple lines, but then it goes.
Secret tunnel, through the mountain. Secret tunnel.